Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Darshawn McAway. You're tuned in to wowpodcast.me. That's WOWPODCAST.me. And today we have a special guest. We have Brent Olson. Sir, how you doing?
I'm good. It's a great day to be alive.
Oh, absolutely great day. So we're going to talk about your book, Between the Helpless and the Darkness. Can you explain to me what that's about?
Just, I've been living in this world for a long time, and sometimes I suspect we're living in an imperfect world. And I just decided to try and fix that. So I wrote an alternative history novel that
Okay.
started with a real event 1,000 years ago and moved the path of an arrow 1 inch and ended up fixing a lot of stuff.
So when you were putting the book together, what was the thought process behind it? Why that particular type of book?
Because I'd never done it before, I mean,
Yeah.
I wanted to see if I could do it. And I did. I think it's probably the best thing I've ever written.
Okay. So I'm looking at it, and I did a little research on you. You've been writing for quite some time. Uh, is there any opportunity that any of your books have turned into movies?
Well, that is actually that's my next goal. Actually, I'm going to be done. I'm a county commissioner, which is perhaps the least important elected official in the United States,
Okay.
and I've done that for 20 years, and I'm going to be done in 5 months. And then my goal after that is to learn screenwriting.
Okay. Okay. And so far, in doing your research and screenwriting, does it seem to be like a hurdle that you have to overcome, or it seems pretty simple for you?
Well, it's a hurdle. Part of, I live in Western Minnesota,
Okay.
uh, 200 miles from the Twin Cities, which is the biggest, urban area. So that is a significant hurdle. I mean, no one's going to be taking me out for lunch in Los Angeles or anything like that. It's so doing the actual work. I'm fairly confident I can do it, but getting it noticed could be a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, that's always a bit of a challenge getting it noticed and having somebody or some production company pick it up and they see the potential in it. So I definitely wish you the best in that. One of your books kind of piqued my interest, Ice on Fire. Yeah, can you fill me in on that book a little bit?
it's uh it's a thriller. It's a novel. It's the first novel I wrote. I still like it a lot. I placed it. The location is basically where I live, Western Minnesota, during the winter, and put a bunch of people in it who I know, or iterations of people that I know,
Okay.
and just try to see how things would turn out.
So, how was your childhood growing up? Because I'm kind of just interested in how a lot of authors pick up writing. How was your childhood coming up?
Uh, you know, Smart parents in a house full of books.
Mm,
There's uh, there's there's nothing more complicated than that.
yeah.
My father was a farmer. My mother was a school teacher. Uh, in my life, I don't think I ever had a teacher or a mentor encourage me to become a writer. I mean, when I was 14, 15 years old, I guess I didn't even know that was a job.
Right.
But you've written books. You know what it's like.
Yeah. 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 It's pretty interesting. I enjoy it. I'm working on a couple books now. I just released a couple of them a few months ago. But my childhood, excuse me, my childhood was pretty interesting. I came up playing sports, and I didn't
Okay.
pick up writing until I went to college. And one of my professors told me that he said, "I think you should take up a career in writing. You have some good stories, and you like to pull people in."
How did you believe that teacher right off the bat, or did it take a little while for you to come around?
No, I believe them because our first that within that first week we had to do some type of essay, and I was the only one that passed with flying colors. And
Okay.
he told everybody that they should pay attention to how I write.
That must have been a good feeling, wasn't it?
Yeah, Yeah, it was. It was a great feeling. It was a great feeling.
I remember after my first book came out and after I'd been writing my syndicated column a while, I went to a writer's retreat with an author I knew named Bill Holm in northern Iceland. I spent a week there with him and about 15 other people.
Hmm.
And in the process of that week, it dawned on me that I had some game, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, I could hold my own, and I remember what a sweet feeling that was. So it resonates me with me. Your professor saying, you know, you've got something, kid.
yeah, yeah. And and also I want to thank you for diving into writing to give people, an escape, if you will, because a lot of times when we read books, it's a perfect escape from what's happening on social media and on the news.
Oh yeah, yes. And you know, there's times where we all need a little bit of an escape,
Yeah,
and it's you know, I like it. I like it a chance to reach people and maybe make them go, you know, make them think about something they hadn't thought about before, or drop them into a world where they would probably never want to live, but might be interested in.
yeah. Now, did any of your children follow in your footsteps?
No, no, at least not to this point. I
Hmm.
mean, I didn't start writing. I didn't get paid for writing until I was 40 years old.
Oh,
So they've you know they're all around 40 or so now, but they're all smart. They're all talented. They could do it if they wanted, but I don't know. I guess I don't know if that's where their interests lie.
right.
I remember when I once asked my father why he never talked to me about becoming a farmer, you know,
Mm,
because that's a traditional thing. And he said, well, your mother and I decided it was too hard a life to try and convince someone to do. So, and writing is kind of the same way. I would hate to try and force someone into it unless they just yearn to do it.
right. So what was the life lessons that you were teaching your children for them to go in the direction that they're in now? Like, what was something that you always embedded in them?
I don't know. Our oldest son went into the Marine Corps for 4 years,
Mm,
and he's a serious man. He takes fatherhood and being a citizen. He's the best father I know. I mean, he really works at it. My oldest daughter is a therapist for a mental health center, and she kind of started that for free when she was 12. I mean, her friends would come to her looking for advice,
right.
and our baby is a preschool teacher in the Twin Cities. So all of them are doing work that matters, and that's rewarding.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I'm,
when you're not writing and everyone's pulling at you, what do you do to relax? Like, do you have a day where you do nothing?
I don't know if there's ever a day when I do nothing.
Hmm.
Uh, I've got I'm pretty much done with journalism now, but when I was doing that, I filed stories from 20 countries on 6 different continents, and I never particularly made a lot of money at it because I'd be getting paid to go there, but I'd take my wife with because the only time I've ever gone someplace without her, the first thing I saw was 20 things that she would have loved to see. So and we still really like to travel.
Mm,
Otherwise, I live on a farm. I live on a farm that's probably a little bit bigger than Central Park in New York. And we've got, you know, cats and dogs and chickens and ducks and an orchard and blueberries and raspberries and a wood shop and a metal shop. And I wake up every morning with a list of things that I want to get done.
yeah, yeah. So I'm in Midwest. I'm in Arkansas. I'm in Northwest Arkansas,
Okay.
and I would
I've
I would
never been
love.
to Arkansas, but it's kind of on my list.
Yeah, it's
It-
a beautiful place.
Okay.
Yeah, I highly recommend that if you and your wife come into town, to go to the Crystal Bridges Museum. Absolutely phenomenal place.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm more so like you. I'm out in the country. I don't have all the animals, But I'm definitely out in the country enjoying the countryside view and speaking to authors such as yourself to discover you guys and to get more awareness about you guys and how you're living your life and everything.
That is, I complain about technology as much as any old guy does,
Yeah.
but you have to admit our jobs connecting with people is a lot easier with the advent of technology.
Oh yeah.
50, 60 years ago, you and I probably both would have had to move to New York or Los Angeles just to make any kind of connection.
Yep.
But now we can live where we want to live and still do what we want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. It's absolutely amazing. I remember like a long time ago. I don't know, maybe in my early 20s. There was so much mysterious and mystique to the authors. You never really knew about them. You know.
Yeah, and I can understand why that's okay. You want someone's work to speak for them,
Right.
but it's nice to see the real person,
Yeah. Right.
uh,
Right.
and that makes their work a little more intriguing, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you do any speaking engagements?
I used to do a lot. COVID kind of knocked the legs out from underneath that for a while,
Hmm.
and and I like I like meeting. Okay, I hate giving speeches. I like talking to people. So a smaller event where I can actually, you know, I joke that if I'm at a networking event, I end up looking at the pictures of the server's grandchildren instead of working the room the way I'm supposed to.
Right. Right.
But I do like, I like talking to people, and it's something I really enjoy.
Now, you put something in the email. I took it as a joke, but I didn't look into it. I said I'm gonna ask him what it is. You said you can castrate a pig in what in less than 30 seconds or something like that.
That's oddly, that's when I first started writing. I didn't have a degree in literature. I didn't have, any sort of credentials of any sort. And I got my back up about that because I thought there's only two things a writer needs. You need to be able to write,
Right.
and you need to have something to say.
Hmm.
And you can tell if someone knows how to write within, a couple paragraphs.
Oh yeah.
So I thought I'd put down some of the things that I do or have done, and to prove that I had something to say.
Yeah.
And that's actually the resume that I used when I got my first book contract. That's what I sent out.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was funny when I read through it. I was like, oh, he has a lot of personality, a lot of personality. I love it. I love it. Um, again, we're talking to Brent Olson. We're talking to him about his book, Between the Helpless and the Darkness. Phenomenal book cover. What gave you the idea behind the book cover?
Oh God, I wish I could tell you. It's just something. It's the book is about the interchange between Native Americans and Vikings,
Hmm.
basically.
Hmm.
Norwegians and Icelanders. And so I wanted to show a little sliver of both cultures
Yeah.
because they're really kind of equals throughout the book, and that's what we came up with the end. The original concept was supposed to be a picture of a cloaked figure, kind of staring pensively off into the distance.
Hmm.
And when the pictures came out, it just sort of looked like a homeless guy. So we went to Plan B.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I like it. I hope a lot of people will get a chance to enjoy it. As of here lately, we've been having a lot of authors come through, and we've been having some pretty good results. So again, I do want to thank you for your time and a pleasure getting to meet you, and to wish you much continued success in all of your endeavors.
Well, same to you. Same to you. You've got a challenging job that in front of you too. I bet you get up in the morning with plenty on your list of things to do.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, my name is Darshawn McAway. We're speaking to Brent Olson. Thank you for joining us on wildpodcast.me. Brent, thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks so much for having me. Take care.
You have a good one.